Hi everyone and welcome back to the vlogs. It has been a while. Sorry, I'm just laughing at my dog in the background. He wants all the treats. He knows there's treats up there. I hope everyone's well. I am now in my third trimester and I'm 32 weeks pregnant. I am quite big and it's a boy. He is bumping, I'm bumping, he's huge, and yeah, thought I'll just give you guys an update. So this whole video is about my first and second trimester. I finally got round to writing it all down and figuring it out for you guys. It's a lot, but this video is going to go, I'm going to talk about my first trimester and I've made some bullet points. I'm not going to go into a lot of it, and I'm also going to talk about my second trimester as well and what's happened so far in the start of my third, because now I'm a month in. So first trimester, it's hard, no matter what. Doesn't matter what woman you are, doesn't matter. Some women have it better than others. I do think I was one of the lucky ones who had it better than others, even though it was still hard, especially mentally. But like, so to start off with, I had no vomiting. I had nausea every single day, but I didn't vomit once in my first trimester. What I did have was a hunger can never be satiated. So I was eating like no one's business and craving protein. I had kind of no aversions apart from salmon. Now I'm back on it when I cook it. Coffee for a couple of weeks. Soup. I just didn't like the look of it. I was obviously thinking that I'm going to be sick and all that stuff. There were close calls, but I never was sick, which is great. I started showing with him at 9 weeks pregnant. This is my first pregnancy, and everyone's like, oh, you won't show for ages. 9 weeks I had a proper bump. It wasn't even the bloat, because when I went to the midwife they were like, you've got an actual bump. And I figured, I went researching, and before I fell pregnant, actually when I was pregnant, like when I found out at 4 weeks, my body fat percentage was really low, and I was obviously working out every day. My diet was high protein, I was strict, I was on a calorie deficit, so I didn't have much body fat to begin with. And it was actually said that if you are somebody who has a low body fat percentage and you get pregnant, you can show faster because there's nothing really there to begin with. And I had a flat stomach, so it kind of made sense. Obviously not now. Another symptom I had was really bad sciatica in my left glute. That's still there. Some days better than others. Sciatica is like a trapped nerve. And that was even from the start, like from 7 weeks, I was like, what is going on? My leg. I'll be working out and it would cramp and it would seize. And that was all boiled down to pregnancy, which was quite funny. I weed a lot. I needed to pee all the time. And I was thinking, so do I have a UTI? Is this concerning? And they were like, no, it's just because hormonal change. So I needed to wee a lot more. My bloat was the most painful thing. There was points where I was like, my mum was like, you look 3 months already, and I was like 8 weeks, 7 weeks. And then we did find out I was actually baby. But the bloat was painful. The gas, the wind, burping and farting, a lot. Tried to exercise, but I had to slow it right down. Still went to ballet classes in my first trimester, still went to reformer Pilates, still did my walks. I still have the puppy and he needed his daily walks, so I was still able to keep doing that, but that was kind of the only thing I did, because it was a crap load of energy being expensed. Oh, back, sorry, he was crying. He's currently, because the cleaner's here, so he's currently locked in my office with me, and he doesn't like being, he likes to patrol. So the next thing was screening checks. So I have a blood, this is a disorder, I don't know what it's called, but I basically have sickle cell trait. It just means that my blood cells some of my blood cells are different shapes. It is quite dangerous if you end up having a child with someone who has the trait and then the child comes up with the disease. So I had a appointment with a midwife actually at 6 weeks, which was unheard of here. No, my husband was tested, not me, because obviously I'm definitely a carrier. It was actually really nice to go and see a midwife that early as well, because then I was able to tell her, can I go start working out back and things like that. She was like, yeah, you're safe. But my husband's came back negative, so there's a 25% chance, I think, that my baby will come out with the sickle cell trait like I did, but obviously a massive proportion of that he may not. So we shall see. He will have a blood test on the 3rd day he is here, to check if he does or not. So yeah. Midwife appointments. Had my first one at 7 weeks. They didn't even test your blood. They're like, I trust you. I was like, you trust me? I don't trust myself. I know I tested like 5 times, but still, I want some clarification from a lab that I am actually pregnant. But she was like, no. It was fine. I had my first private scan at 8 weeks and 5 days in the city. We paid. I went to see don't know how we got her, one of the leading gynecologists for the NHS in England. And I was like sitting in front of this woman like, nice to meet you. We didn't expect, obviously it's great. She did an internal scan, so they didn't do it outside because the baby's too small, so it was in. Baby was fine, heartbeat, they were on the head. I think this is a sign for this entire pregnancy, so I'll get into that a bit more. And he was happy and healthy, and I could finally let myself breathe. I have suffered with anxiety and depression. Up until that point, I could not let myself believe that I was pregnant. Obviously, I stopped doing things and stuff like to make sure he was okay and things. I was so scared something would happen that I wouldn't be able to cope with, if that makes sense. Like, so I just didn't want to believe anything until I saw his little heart on that monitor and hearing it, and I broke down because then I could actually let myself breathe for the first time. And my husband actually went the opposite way. He started panicking even more because he was like, this is real. And obviously for your partner, it's quite difficult because they're not carrying it. They're just listening to you. Obviously they see the changes, but they're just listening to you. And when he saw it and heard it himself, he's like, right, we need to make sure we're doing different things. And he like more of a jump to attention type thing. I had the NHS scan at 13 weeks and 1 day, where they do checks and stuff, and they check if the pregnancy is viable and things. That's why I went at 8 weeks though, so I wanted to check if the pregnancy was viable before that date. Everything was good. He chilling, happy, rolling around in there. Bit fussy. He doesn't like being on camera, so he was a bit of a fighter and hiding. I didn't do the NIPT test, which a lot of people do for like, I think it's screenings and finding the gender. We decided to wait for the gender thing. I was just like, meh. I did do other screenings that the hospital offered for like Down syndrome, I think Arnold syndrome and stuff, so I said, yeah, take my blood for that. And I also donated some of my blood for research, because if it's going to be wasted, use it. Like, if it can help another woman or a baby, like, find something, please go for it. I was out of breath all the time. That has not changed. It was worse though in my, like, actually no, it wasn't worse in my first trimester. Now is an understanding of why I'm out of breath, because there's a massive weight on it's like pushing all my lungs up. But before that, I couldn't walk up a hill, and I'm fit. I was doing Barry's, I was doing hot Pilates, I was doing hot yoga, I used to do running, all sorts. And sorry, he's got a bone. And it was a lot. I was fit. This don't make no difference. Getting pregnant, I realised I am not in control. And that was a massive thing for us to learn, especially for me. I'm a control freak, and this took all my power from me, and it still is. So it's interesting. And I was shattered. Luckily I had a 3-month-old puppy, because he was sleeping for like 19 hours a day. Me and him were on the sofa just like constantly, because we were both sleepy. And it was kind of good also, like, having my pup at that time. It was hard because he's full of energy, but he made me get out of the house because I'm not working, and that was really hard. The mental health struggle was really hard. And also during my first trimester, the literally day after I found out I was pregnant, I was going for trauma-based therapy to deal with some stuff that happened in my past. I planned to do this before pregnancy because I wanted to, when I did decide to have a child, I wanted to be as healed as far as I could be, to be the best mother I can. But obviously God works in mysterious ways depending on whoever you believe in. If you don't believe, well, can't, whatever. And I fell pregnant, and then I started trauma therapy the next day, and that has continued throughout my entire second trimester as well, which I'll get into a bit more. And that was kind of it for the first trimester. It's a lot, and it's hard. I can't imagine those ladies who are vomiting every day and who have HG. Jesus, like, my heart goes out to you. And I met a few people actually who have via baby class, like pregnancy classes, and yeah, I was very lucky in that way, because also I have the vomiting fear, that I've been diagnosed with it. So the first trimester was really taxing for me in regards to that, and generally me being a worrier as well. So fast forward to the second trimester. So you think you get to 12 weeks and it just can't, no it doesn't. I was nauseous up to 16 weeks. I was still able to eat and still wanted protein and stuff. Caffeine came back into play, but my energy came back in 16 weeks, where I started feeling a bit more level, but I was quite big. Everyone was saying, like, you look like you're 30 weeks. And I was a bit like, thanks. Obviously, my midwives booked me in for my gestational diabetes tests, and I'll get to that as well. They monitored me closely. I've got optimal blood pressure. I am heavy. Like, I started at, I think, about 58 kilos, my pregnancy, and I'm 32 weeks and I'm now 80. I am heavy, but also baby is heavy. And they keep saying that, they said, your baby is big boy. Your placenta is probably going to be quite big from what it looks like on the scan. And I've got this all normal amount of amniotic fluid and stuff as well. So they were just like, it's just how you carry. But you are optimal health. So I have no, touch wood, haven't had anything to preeclampsia. And I don't have gestational diabetes either. So everyone was a bit like, including myself. I said, I don't know. It's just maybe who I'm 4'11". I'm still quite active and stuff, but I am eating anything and everything because I need this baby to not have, I don't want them to have any allergies. I have eaten anything and everything. Like, I love oat milk in my coffees because I'm back on coffees, but you will see me drinking a glass of semi-skimmed cow's milk or skimmed milk. I almost feel sick. Eggs, peanuts. I'm just like, give it, because it's going to him and I want to make sure that he's fine. Also, even with my puppy, because I have slight allergies to dogs, and this is why I have a poodle, because he's hyperallergenic. He's still getting kisses. He licks my face sometimes. He's still a baby, but I'm making sure that I'm like, come here, and squishing him, cuddling him and all sorts, because I don't want a child with allergies. So yeah, so going on, the nausea came and went, so I did still feel nauseous some days. I did vomit in the second trimester, and that was because I was so backed up because he was getting bigger. I couldn't go to the toilet, and basically what happened is I had a coffee and some porridge and it all just came back up. And I also had, this was the start of severe heart palpitations. I used to suffer with heart palpitations before pregnancy, and they boiled it down to anxiety. I think after the baby's born, I'm going to go back and get it further evaluated. I had ECGs and stuff because I'm done. Like, this is the part of pregnancy that I can't cope with. It feels like I'm having a heart attack, and then I can be sick from it, and I'm done for the day. It takes ages for it to be fixed. I feel like I'm going to pass out. I'm lightheaded. So I need that to be sorted as well. And that came in the second trimester. But not all the time. I only had it once, twice, where it was quite severe. I had my second NHS scan at 21 weeks, and they made errors. So at 13 weeks, my placenta was showing to be an anterior placenta low, meaning it's at the front of baby, and it's down to covering my cervix. So basically, there's no exit for him, even if it was a vaginal birth at the moment. A lot of women have it, and as pregnancy goes on, as your uterus gets bigger, it moves up. It just stretches out, so it kind of just lifts, and then you got the hole for the vagina's open. 21 weeks, it's moved. I was like, great, thanks. So that was fine. I then went to see another midwife, and she said you're measuring big. So at that point, I think it was 22 weeks, I was measuring 3 weeks ahead. So she's like, I'm just going to consult with a doctor, and we're going to see, I think we should send you for another scan at 28 weeks. It's like, okay, makes sense. And she said, I'm going to book you in for your birth plan at 31 weeks, which scared me. Because I was like, do you know something I don't? So, yeah, I'll get to that point in a minute, because that's the third trimester thing about the birth plan. So I had a private gender scan at 19 weeks. It was me and my husband decided, and it's a boy. We thought it was a girl, but no, it's a boy. So that was exciting. My energy levels stayed level. I grew a lot. My stomach grew a lot during this period of time, and also had to stop exercising out in classes. I got actually quite poorly during the second trimester, and I got food poisoning, which if you're pregnant and it's not good and it's not nice. But they wouldn't give me anything for it, because obviously even when you have food poisoning when you're not pregnant, they try and deter. Medications they don't want to give you. The GP was really good, and she explained that to me as well. I did try to be as normal as possible, and I went on an art course for a week in the city, because I wanted to get out there and I wanted to do something, and that was really fun with the University of Arts of London. My subwoofer. And then by 28 weeks I'm feeling pregnancy, and I was feeling a lot. So that was kind of the second trimester, a lot of peaks and troughs of things. You'll be surprised what your body can do and how you can get back into things. But when it hit 28 weeks, it kind of went, it's something a bit different. Okay, someone wanted to be picked up. So here he is. You guys haven't seen him in a while. He's a big boy now, he's 10 months old, aren't you, big girl? So he is still as cute as ever. A terror. Terror is not even the word, but we love him. Anyway, so third trimester so far. So heart palpitations, big factor. I feel like there's a lot of pressure on my chest. And, you want to go? Oh no. There's a lot of pressure on my chest, and sleeping has become more hard. I'm even more hungry. I didn't really feel the hunger spikes during my first and second trimester, but my third, I could feel it a lot more. Hands and feet are swelling. Doesn't help that we're in the heat. We've been having heat waves back to front in the UK, and it got up to like 37 degrees, and it's been wild. The year I choose to, no, I didn't choose, but the year I get pregnant is the year's like the Sahara. My C-section is booked. I'm waking up at random points in the night, sometimes to go to the toilet, but just also I'm just waking up. At like 2 a.m, I'm like, why am I up? So it's like pregnancy insomnia, it's hit properly, slower to walk. I can't walk as far these days. I can't get up to my step count these days. The baby's bearing down on me, and it hurts. Which is I've been trying to struggle with, which I'm struggling with, but it is what it is, and I'm out of breath even more for obvious reasons. Birth plan was great. I'm glad that's been booked in, but there's a lot of things now waiting on this 34-week scan, which is in 2 weeks, because then everything will be decided from that scan. If where my C-section will finalise date will be, seeing the consultant, and just enjoying these last weeks of pregnancy. But it's a lot. I will hopefully be doing some more videos, because I do actually want to film packing my birth bag. I've never done this. Obviously my birth bag is going to be catering to C-section. I've bought loads of stuff for it. I bought like the Freedom Mum C-section kit, which comes with the binder and everything, but we can go into that more when I do decide. But thanks so much for watching. I'm sorry if this was a bit chaotic. Pregnancy is what it is. I'm thriving as much as I can. Mental health, yeah, I don't take any medication for it, by the way. I didn't touch, actually, let me just finish this part on mental health. I finished it in June, and I've now been put under some mental health professionals at the hospital who's helping me, just basically checking in on me to make sure I'm okay, because it's been a lot. And I'm also alone a lot as well. I have my husband, but he obviously works. My parents still work. My brother works, so it's just been me and the puppy, which he's been a help, even though he terrorises everything. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, comment, and I hope, and I'm keep saying I'm gonna try and get back into YouTube. I am, but obviously there's bigger fish to fry at the moment. But thanks so much for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.